I start with the first frame, and when I get to the last frame, the movie's done.
That's so stupid.
I will screen record the premiere video and I will walk through the timeline and I will discuss like individual cuts.
The rounds and rounds of edits we do on the script and the rounds and rounds that we do on the edit, that's by far the most gratifying creatively.
Like Casey Neistat, for example, edits linearly. He finishes picture, music, automation, second by second. And then when he gets to the last second of the video, no, I swear to God, he's done.
That's so stupid. I can't imagine.
But he doesn't work with the team.
I mean, he's amazing, obviously. Like,
he's amazing.
800. That's how many days in a row I uploaded a video from my daily vlog. 800 days. I have sort of two rules when it comes to editing. One is that I can only edit chronologically. I start with the first frame, and when I get to the last frame, the movie's done. I don't edit clips. I don't do string outs. I don't do any of that.
So you do color, you do
I don't color
sound,
anything. I do straight from camera. So,
but you do sound on the way?
yeah.
Automation on the way?
Everything
on the way?
Titles, everything on the way.
And then when you get to the end, you don't go back and
I might go back and finesse. But the point is like right now, when you came up here and interrupted my day, I was 4 minutes into.
Fuck you too.
I was 4 minutes into editing a video that'll probably be a 6 or 7 minute long video, and I'm 4 minutes into the edit, and those 4 minutes are complete. But like I finished those 4 minutes, and I'm like, what am I saying here, and where am I going with this? So 4 minutes of the movie's done, and I don't even know what the rest is.
Our edit process is insane. We are on average 2 weeks of post per video, but on our bigger series, like Without a Recipe, it's over a month.
The hardest, toughest thing that we've ever tried to bake in our kitchen.
cancel all my afternoon appointments.
God, this is so hard.
a month of post-production.
Yeah, I mean, those shows are an hour, but yeah.
And that's like full-time editor and then notes from you and the team?
Yeah.
Our workflow is basically, we have our whole pre-production process. We've like greenlit the video, we start working, we do our research, we're vlogging throughout it, etc.
In this video, I figure out why it took humanity so long to invent the wheel and see if these two can do it in a day.
I have these 4K files. I put them into Media Encoder, turn them into proxies. Sometimes you'll put them in the project and sort it out already and get the proxies linked up. But now our production process is just so lengthy that we kind of just like hand the proxies over to Joe through Google Drive. Syncs on his end, he edits it down, all well and good. He exports like drafts and then uploads it to Frame.io. We put in our little comments, we're like, oh, can you do this? It could be as many as like 10 back and forths. And then eventually he sends over a draft where I'm like, all of my remaining comments are too niche and too silly to write down. So I'll just be like, project handover, send it my way, bud. And then I take it back. I'll relink all the footage to their full res files. And then I'll just do any final little edits that I wanted to do.
The deliverable is not like the export of the video, it's the project.
And then do you go in and fine tune and tweak?
Yeah, I do, yeah. So and that was the main way that I would edit. Because I had editors for years, but I would always do that. They would get it to some percentage of the way, and then I would take it the last mile, and like sort of put my touch on it.
It's not the toilet. It's just where you put it.
And that's a lesson that you can all take home with you today.
Okay, so first question. Is this actually how you work? Side by side with your editor?
Sometimes. He had to come in all the time. So this is actually in a unit in the back of my house. And that little editing station right there is where I do like live streams on Twitch and stuff. But we have him come in every Friday to sort of picture lock for the release on a Saturday. And so I was just sitting side by side with him, yeah. But like I'm trying to do more remote because he has a good machine at home too. But yeah, a lot of times he'll come in.
We need our next blockbuster, okay? An instant classic. Johnson, what do you got?
We could do a remake of Superman again. People seem to love that.
Excellent.
Okay, so picture lock, which is like, is that how you think of it? Do you like structure it with like picture lock? Is that how you're like operating? Like that's like a big company like thing.
I just shot a show for 4 months, so maybe that's where my head's at right now.
When I was editing, I would pre-lay tracks before I had finished filming.
When I was making YouTube videos, I shoot with the edit in mind and the music already like in the editing project and the cuts in mind.
Went back to Ottawa the next day, and out came Emo L.
We have a rule. No song can last more than 45 seconds. Usually they don't last more than 15 seconds.
Is that still your rule?
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm listening to one like ding, ding, ding over and over again, I'm going to blow my brains out. So you're using, it's all about creating contrasting rhythms.
So you don't work with an editor at all? Have you ever worked with an editor or for your channel?
Sometimes I work with a guy named Braxton Haugen, who's great. You should check out his channel. But sometimes I'll have like the pre-editing stuff, like save all this in the different folder, in the folders according to what camera it was shot on, and then load it all into the timeline and cut it down.
America has 3 principal archetypes: the cowboy, the warrior, and the inventor.
A few things I've done, like 8 things I've done that way, but no.
For the YouTube channel, it's the 3 of us and then our incredible editor, Joe. When we went into getting an editor, we knew, like, we don't want just an editor who will follow whatever we say and just do the most basic edit. We want to work with people who make our work better just by being there.
I used to edit everything, and then I started like working with other editors as we just had too much stuff, because editing is like very time consuming. And if you want to like be working on multiple channels at a time, then it's hard to, if I have to go heads down for like 20 hours a week on just the edit for one video, then it's not sustainable.
I'm proud to say I produced, shot, edited, put everything up, burned, flipped, put it in the envelope. I've did everything for at least 10 years.
Me too.
Yeah. Right there.
Right. That's how you got to start.
That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. Yeah.
So basically, I've been working with this company called Maiden Network. So I shot 2 yesterday, and I literally just take the cards out, put it into the computer, and put it on Dropbox, and I'm done. They schedule everything, title everything, edit everything.
At first, it was 100% me. And if you watch videos in the first couple of years of my channel, they look like black and white footage. Like, they look like they're from another time.
Welcome to our very first theme episode of Ask a Mortician.
They have this like sweet, innocent, bygone days quality to them. Because it was me recording it on my MacBook and then editing in iMovie on the MacBook.
Using this camera?
Using that camera.
And how many years did you do that?
Probably like 2.
And then at some point, you were making enough money to hire a team?
Well, at some point, my boyfriend at the time started editing them, and he ended up doing it long after we broke up, like for a long time. And he was great, and he really helped us. Shout out Landis Blair, helped us kind of set the tone of like the emerging storytelling part of our channel.
We thought about having a dead body made of pillows to show this example, but why use pillows when we can use me?
I would say 95% of the time do it all myself. And then recently I've had some help with some editing with my friend Sam, and then I've hired some editors for a few videos in the past. I've tried to get a regular editor, but it always ends up I always end up wanting to do it myself.
I've concocted the perfect sleep routine. 4 R's. First R, remove. Stop eating and drinking at 8:30 p.m. Turn off screens at 9:30 p.m.
Sounds really healthy.
Does, doesn't it?
What's been hard about giving up editing, and what have you tried? And I guess what made you feel like this isn't working? I got to keep doing it myself.
It's my fault for being so unscheduled. Like, I'm going to work when I want to work, and when I'm feeling it, and I change my mind all the time. Like I'm like, well, I can't make a plan that far in advance, because I can't say this month we're going to do this month we're going to do this, because I might be more interested in something else. It's my wishy-washiness, I think, might be the problem. And that's why I'm a good editor, because I go back and change things. That's what I do. I just like to go back and change things.
What are your most annoyingly anal notes that you give an editor?
I mean, if I get a 12-minute cut, there will be at minimum 20, sometimes 60 notes. I'm like the note giver of the group and love just getting my hands dirty and going in and really thinking about the construction of videos. It's to me still the most fun part.
How many comments do you leave in Frame IO?
Too many.
How many?
I think it's like, it could be 50. I'll leave comments on my own comments. I'll reply to them, tracking my thought process. Because one thing, when I do give notes, I want to like explain why this note is there, because I think that's how you also develop as an editor, you develop as a team.
I've kind of created a hybrid approach now. There's a lot of projects that I just review the exports, but for anything that's super precious, or if I'm onboarding a new editor, then I am giving a combination of like long form Frame.io notes, or I will screen record the Premiere video and I will walk through the timeline and I will discuss like individual cuts and things like that, just to be like, here's how I think about this, because it's like almost like a style guide of, here's there's oftentimes not like right or wrong answers to things. A lot of it is taste. And so I'm really just trying to teach somebody my taste so that they can emulate it.
I guess the question could be, why don't you just do the edits yourself? And I don't do them myself because I'm not as good as a real editor. And so I would much rather, over a long period of time, develop a relationship with a really gifted editor who understands exactly the kind of stuff that we're trying to put out and the tone and everything around it. We have another editor, Andy Windack, that we work with as well. And both of them have never bristled at an edit of mine ever. I don't think there's a lot of ego at all in our process.
When that's the case, it's good people.
Yeah. Anybody can say anything to me about something that may need to be cut. Anything can say somebody about me about how I did not record it very well, or I felt low energy, or there were some issues, or there's a whole chunk that needs to be cut because it's dragging. I take that immediately into consideration and will probably do it. And I feel no hesitation in being super specific about every edit that I want.
Sometimes creators feel guilty about giving feedback to somebody else, or they're kind of conflict avoidant and don't want to ask for something or feel bad saying, that's not how I want it. Did you ever struggle with that at all?
I think our intuition, like the three of us, we have strong opinions about things. And fortunately, we also have the ability to know what we do want. And I think that might be a struggle for a lot of people where they're like, I don't like this, but they can't offer an alternative. And that's really terrible as an editor to receive this feedback of change it. And you're like, change it into what? So I think that we knew from our own experiences working as contractors, as editors, as various creative roles, that the quality of your feedback is really important.
The rounds and rounds of edits we do on the script and the rounds and rounds that we do on the edit of the final video, that's by far the most gratifying creatively of what I do. Oh, just the
massaging.
Move this here, you cut this here, you do this here. What if this is we cut into my face a little bit because that moment, then we hold the space there, and we having all of those ways to kind of reach out across the screen and have the story impact someone.
I kind of think I'm in it for the edit. That's the part where I get in a flow. That's the part where just the time.
Yeah.
And it's also the sculptural part. It's what everything's leading up to.
The jigsaw puzzle of assembling a story and revealing the thing at just the right moment.
It is a puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle. That's what we're doing.